As I understand it, one of the criteria was the opportunity for development. And if you're under the river and in the tunnel, there is no opportunity for redevelopment. So
that's
by going the surface route,
I'll let him finish his answer.
By going the surface route and hooking into potential development areas, both existing and that have the potential for redevelopment because they may be an existing RA7 site now but underutilized, that's where you're going to find the benefit, that's where you're going to find the ridership, and that's where you're going to make the economic case for the above-ground LRT. Right now, we've got BRT that's going to go straight to the South Campus and unload and take them to the university right there. 2 more stops. I know it goes right below my house.
Thank you very much. Oh, Councillor Nader.
Yes, you know there was a movie called Field of Dreams?
Yes, sir.
And one of the key words or the key phrases in that particular movie was "build it and they will come." Don't you think that the same thing will apply to Jasper Place in that particular area, which at one time was a very booming area for commercial development? It's been in some kind of despair for the last while, but isn't that what you were saying earlier in your remark? That
yes, I am. I'm saying that LRT will spur redevelopment. And whether it's in Jasper Place, whether it's in the quarters, whether it's in along Stony Plain from 149th to 156th, it can spur both retail as well as residential development. And you heard Grosvenor earlier speak to their support for LRT.
Yeah, good, thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Cushel.
Thank you. Mr. Chen, I mean, I have to say I'm struggling with this, especially the West LRT route. And you are the only developer, it looks like, that's registered to speak, so I guess you're it. The same arguments of build it and they will come were made for when the Northeast LRT was actually built out. And there have been some pretty serious challenges. Now, to give credit to administration now, we've moved mountains from where it was.
The design is quite radically different.
Now, I appreciate it's a rail line, very more rail, but why do you think, I mean, one of the challenges we have sitting here is when we don't own land, we don't have the same say, and you can probably appreciate what
I will acknowledge that.
So, I guess that's where I'm challenged, because when we're bringing our investment, the Northeast line didn't develop that very quickly. And do you think that we'd see that with the other two really fast?
Well, let's go back to when the LRT originally went out to the Northeast. That was a heyday for Edmonton in the late 70s. By the time it was built, 1980, it was already a tipping point. We'd gone over the top. We just hadn't realized it. By 1981, 82, we were well apprised of our situation. And we stagnated for almost 20 years. Its success or failure is a hard one to judge because of the period of time economically that we went through. But I would humbly suggest to you that in the interim between the 70s and now, and the change in attitude in transportation and looking at walkability, we wouldn't put a station that went all the way from Churchill out to Commonwealth Stadium with nothing in between. So I would humbly suggest that part of the problem for the lack of support from my community was the way it was built and is presently configured.
So you feel that if we had more stations along the line, then you would see more potential development?
I think that's one of the beauties of the design, both of the South and the West. Whatever its alignment, you are now working on the 200, 400, and 800 meter walking rings. Yeah. And these are long-known concepts in development and planning.
Well, we've seen some of the stuff coming out of Portland as well. They've brought in some experts. In terms of the University of Alberta, which Councillor Sloan is getting at, it is an employment node as well as a student node. And I appreciate your comments about the new bus service that's going to go there. Do you think that'll capture, and I appreciate suburban versus urban, but you do have a corridor that would be straight up there, and you have it with the Eastern Plain Road route. But with the Eastern Plain Road route, you don't have a station at. They have to come all the way around and go back up to get to the U of A. So you're basically excluding the U of A on that line. You think that that's still worth it to consider Stony Plain over 87th Ave?
Personally, I do, because I think it's a duplication of tax dollars without the possibility of redevelopment along the line. And you are going to very much an employment node with the U of A hospital and the university there. It's one of our critical areas in this town, and high density, I might add. But it's already been served by LRT, so then the next thing is, how do you get people there? So now the bus rapid transit that's going to come along, and you've just added an extra lane to Quesnel, or we will have by next summer, and completed the expansion along Fox Drive and the overpass coming up into South Campus. What is going to be the ridership difference in terms of time to come from Lewis Estates on that bus, direct bus, and then transfer back to the U of A versus coming around on Stony Plain? I humbly suggest that it probably will be about the same or possibly faster with the bus rapid transit. So why
that's the challenge, Mr. Kent, that I'll be asking those questions. I know on the LRT it's 17 minutes straight, but those are the questions that we'll be asking. But you make some good points. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Kent. There are no further questions. We've now come to the end of those in favor, but a number of people were not here earlier. We'll just call their names again. Joe Lazat, Brenda Stale, Don Nelson. I understand Miss Nelson is here. Okay. Now I'll return the chair to the mayor. If you'd like to come down over here, Miss Nelson.
Thank you very much. I'm here on behalf of myself. I don't represent any group, but I am in favor of this proposed route because it addresses, I hear a lot of questions about the university and about development, questions that seem to be directed at the middle class and upper class citizens of Edmonton. The proposed route addresses ridership of people who are already riding public transit and have no other options. I live in one of the West End neighborhoods. Any route is not going to affect me directly, but I have taken public transit to the university myself in my university career. Yes, those two buses are packed 6 months of the year. I've tried to take the bus downtown to work. My preferred route doesn't run all day because my neighbors don't take the bus and there isn't sufficient ridership to have a route down that 87th Avenue corridor that runs on 10 or 15-minute intervals all day long. I do take the two on occasion downtown. That bus is standing room only, any time of day, any day of the week. And it is filled with students, seniors, and low-income people that have no other options. And I applaud the administration for coming up with the proposed route that they did, because I think that's the one that is going to address the needs of that segment of our population.
Thank you very much for coming, and we appreciate it. And, thank you very much. So the other one after 4:30 was supposed to be Brenda Stako. Is she here yet? Oh, yeah. Oh, great. Come on down, Brenda. Good to see you.
Sorry, I'm late.
That's no problem. You're not late. You're 5 minutes early.
Oh, okay. Mr. Mayor, City Councilors, my name is Brenda Stako, and I'm a longtime resident of the West End. First of all, I'd like to thank the city for doing a great job with the consultation process and providing an opportunity for public input. I also really appreciated receiving a detailed analysis of the proposed West LRT route in my mail.